Hello and welcome back to the table. You are with Finding Atoria, a weekly TTRPG podcast where a group of friends get together to discuss the games that we love to play, the characters that we love to play them with, and something else, but I don't know what that is. You're supposed to list 3 things. I only had 2.
Yeah.
We have...
The power of friendship.
That is definitely not the 3rd one.
Friendship is magic.
As you can hear, I'm not alone in the studio today. Somebody didn't get my memo, apparently. We have Arcadia back, fresh off a batch of health potions and feeling a little bit
Hello,
better.
guys.
And Tori is in the building with us today.
What's up, y'all?
We do miss Jess, who is, I think, on her final leg
She's
of
on her way back.
Yeah.
I think
grand tour.
she hit one of the airports. I was
We're not telling you where Jess is.
I can't tell where Jess exact.
Where in the world is Jess Nooner Puck?
Shit, that worked really well.
It did.
Remind me to clip that. Okay. All right. And today,
There's a spider on the back of your chair.
I'm sorry.
Just right there. It's just a little jumping spider.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm sorry. It's
me.
right there. He's gone now. Sorry.
All right. So we don't do video for this podcast.
Short attention span theater. I apologize, y'all.
I just want to get it out of the way really quick that we're lucky to have us all 3 in here, and we're going to take advantage of the 3 of us being in studio to do something that we normally don't do, despite the lovely title of our podcast. And we're going to find a little bit of Atoria today. And what I hope is a fun and conversational back and forth. I would like to, if I could, interview you both about your Atorian Gen 1 characters today. I'd like our listeners to get more about, and I'm not even going to introduce them, because every time I use a last name with either one of your characters, you go, hold on here, because it wasn't. So I'm not even going to try. I'm going to do a little bit of interview, and I'm going to toss it back and forth between both of you with some questions about your Gen 1 characters. But let's go ahead and have no roll-off and start, if we could, with Arcadia, with just introducing us to your Gen 1 Atorian D&D character that was created 2nd ed, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's it. That's all I'm going to say.
I say yes, but no. So
The caveats start early. Tell me there actually is a character.
I'm like,
okay.
don't you hate me? Edrie Graf is my Gen 1 character, and the version of her that we played as a table as kids was a 2nd gen or 2nd edition character build. But she was taken from a character that my father handed to me the very first time I ever played.
So kind of a reskinning of a character you had played before.
Yeah, I started playing Edrie when I was 9 years old.
Okay.
And my dad, she wasn't anybody, I didn't choose who she was or anything like that. I was handed a character sheet.
But he had rolled her up. It wasn't something out of a book.
Correct.
It was a character he had created. That's very, very cool.
My mom drew a little picture of her on the character sheet. And yeah, so her base origin is just first generation D&D.
Right, right. Okay. So tell me this, and then we'll switch over to Tori, and we'll try to keep this moving smartly if I can do it well. But Edrie walks through the door of the tavern, of the castle, of the first day, first level. What do you see? Who's coming through the door, and why does she matter?
Sure. It's sort of interesting. Where to start? Edrie is first and foremost a fighter. So you see a very stereotypical sort of 1980s fighter, woman, female fighter.
You do not have a chainmail bikini, though.
No, I did not have a chainmail bikini. You are correct. Just because, yeah.
THAC0 does not reward.
No, it does
No,
not.
it does not. No, it does not. But first and foremost, she was a fighter, and that's where she started level 1.
And she walks, she's an elf, correct?
She is an elf, yes.
Pure elf. Okay.
Yep.
And Tori, let's go to you for a minute. Same thing. Where did... And we've talked about our inspirations for these characters before on this program, but where...
And that was where I was pausing, because I was like, do I say just look at Kitiara?
And we don't have to do that. But
Oh, it's going to be obvious the minute I say what mine is.
yeah, tell me about Nori and how you started playing your Gen 1 finding a Torian character.
Norian Kemlock, and she is and it is no longer a subclass for a thief, because it was a thief back then, but she was a bounty hunter. And she was a two-handed fighter, drow.
Because we could do that stuff.
Bounty hunter.
Sounds OP. I don't think I want her playing at the table.
You let her because I gave you a backstory to back it up.
Great backstory.
Orphaned.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So she wasn't evil.
Right.
But, oh, God, it Drist.
It was straight out of...
Straight.
Yep.
Like, there was no other...
Because when reading those books, and we talked about this a little bit, you latch onto a character, and if you play D&D, the first thing you want to do is play that. Like, you could not run a Death Knight in second edition. Otherwise, I would have been Lord Sloth. Just so I didn't get sued. But okay, so same thing with that. We're at the tavern. The door kicks open. There's a rustle of dust and air, and in walks a drow.
A drow, black leather with 2 morning stars at her side.
That is just menace walking through the door.
She was not a happy person.
No, and great backstory there, but that's who you started with, and what made you go to, and I know the Drist thing, but the Morning Stars, did you just get in the book and figure out that was a little bit more 2d8 plus 1 damage? Was that an initial optimization?
I don't think it was. I just thought it looked cool.
Oh, the visual's badass.
And one of his brothers fought with him.
Yes. We talked about this on the last. Yep.
One of his brothers fought with him.
Okay. Very, very cool. So I want to bounce back to Edrie, and as a player. Oh, sorry.
I take it back. It was Triel.
Okay.
It was his older sister.
Okay. Who had
had
dual Morning Stars. There it is. We need to write this shit down so we remember.
Well, now it's
or
being
we could just
recorded.
read the book.
Or listen to the podcast. You know what? We got options. All right. So Edrie, Arcadia. We make a lot of characters when we play the game, and not all of them stick, and not all of them kind of find our hearts. Now yours is different because of where it came from. You've been playing since you were 9 with Edrie. Dad wrote the initial character. When did you know this was going to be a lifelong, like, I'm not getting rid of this one, we're not rolling up again? Now we all did second gen at some point, but when did you lock in and really identify with playing that character? Do you have a seminal moment?
That's the interesting part, is I really don't feel like there's this like seminal moment. I think it is just the fact of the years at the table, playing the character with my friends, developing Atoria, and it made Edrie a character. I have tons of characters in my binder, but it made Edrie the character, the star of the cast of characters for me, and I really just it's not so much about her skills and capabilities, although we didn't have caps in second gen or second edition, and so the last character sheet I had of her, she was level 23. You can do anything. And for those wondering, we comment about Edrie with Magic Missile a lot, and I said first and foremost she's a fighter. She was a dual class, she was a fighter mage, but to me it was just the moments, the little moments, every moment.
The accumulation of all of it. I'm going to ask you one more question, then I'm going to switch back to Tori, but with different questions. So if you're plotting your answers over there, I have curveballs aplenty for you. What is your favorite thing in your turn at play that your character can do? And it doesn't have to be an attack, doesn't have to be a special ability, but when it comes around to you and it's Edrie's turn, what about that role-playing experience with that character are you just chomping at the bit to get in?
Okay. it's hard to answer because we have two different versions of Edrie. Second
The Atorian multiverse.
second edition versus 5th edition. But so I'm gonna, I guess, make it a little bit more generic instead of saying specific, like say moves or attacks or anything like that. Edrie, back to my first answer. Edrie is first and foremost a fighter. And so my favorite thing to do with Edrie is I don't care how I'm going to do it. I'm going to kick ass. I'm going to deliver as much damage as I can deliver, whether that is with my double swords, whether that is with a magic spell, whether it is a combination of both of that.
She was, when we played, that threat from any position on the table, because you did such a good job building the fighter mage. But I can't think of an encounter when the swords didn't come out.
No, she. I think sometimes everybody talks about her magic missiles and is like, oh, she's going to throw a magic missile, which obviously I did a lot. It became sort of an iconic thing. But yeah, like she was always a dual-fisted sword wielder.
We had the Bash sisters.
Yeah.
Right. And I was going to say, I learned tactics in second ed D&D because you two made me learn tactics because of how you used your characters. Fantastic stuff. I'm going to go over to Tori and talk about Norian Kemlock just a little bit. And the first question is going to be a little bit of, take a breath with it. But held to the flame, forced to tell the truth. What does Nori give a shit about in Atoria?
Her family.
Yeah, I knew that answer. Hell yeah.
It's going to be those
Her
who
family.
she considers family.
Yep.
And it's that loyalty
it.
button.
Yep. That's it.
Because she was so driven as a character, like just dogmatic sometimes when we played. And you think thief, you think rogue, you think drow, you think all of those shiny things that
She'll get 'em.
the guild accumulation did not matter at all.
Nope.
Are my people good?
Yep.
Well, one of the things I love about Norian's character is that she is a killer. She is a rogue. She is everything that you would expect of a very high level thief.
Menace.
She is a bitch and she is dangerous and you don't want to cross her. The other side of that is if you are one of her people, she has the biggest heart in the world. She will destroy the world in order to keep you safe.
She will also
Very
take the hit for you.
Yeah.
That was the other thing that I was going to throw out there is that there were breaks in games where there was a unintended, unscripted moral situation where like, hey, we screw these guys, or hey, we can throw in and help and we can do. And it was almost always a combination of you two trying to, all right, we're going to give us some shit and this sucks and we shouldn't have to save your asses, but we are. So second question on Nori, because I think we could go down that rabbit hole very quickly. Going to get a little bit technical, going to get to that combat encounter. Mm-hmm. You as a player, Tori, know action economy very well. You know where to take your bonus actions, how to move and how to optimize that interaction.
Yep.
I've got 6 nameless, faceless, formless foes in a room. What are we going to watch Norian do to that room?
Take heads.
And you're going swift melee in with the mace.
She is a melee rogue. Mm-hmm. Which is hilarious because she was one of the only melee rogues I've played because most of mine are long distance.
Yep.
And when I stepped back into playing her, there was we were in the middle of a fight and I got yelled at by Katie. Was like, bitch, get in there. And I'm like, oh,
what
fuck.
What are you doing on
Like, what are you doing?
Like, I was like with a crossbow in
Your
the background.
pod shot and get up here
I'm
and
like,
dome somebody.
Oh, right.
Dual-fisted morning stars.
Fuck. No, I would go in there and just
Use the
beat
dexterity.
the fuck out of people.
Yep. Okay.
And I had enough speed. And there was a couple other tricks that we had at the end that I was getting more than one or 2 hits.
You were using a shadow step sort of thing towards the end there, because I remember you asking during battle.
Be like, all right.
Yeah, where's the shadow cast? Well, I'm over there.
Yeah.
And it was very different in second edition because there was not as much to do. We really had to get creative with movement and using those characters well. Very cool stuff. I think that I'm going to do one more round of questions and then we're going to take a quick break. Arcadia, if Edrie had one, and I don't think she does, where is that character vulnerable? Where are they weak? And not on the stat blocks per se, but yeah.
Sounds, in my opinion, this comes across sort of stereotypical of the hero. Edrie is weak in regards to those she loves. If you threaten Derville, Edrie isn't going to be logical. She's not going to be, she's not going to be in control. And when she's as powerful as she is, that's actually a little bit dangerous.
Right. So you can compel her to poor decision making by leveraging those.
Yeah.
That she loves.
And I mean, and it's for those who don't know our world, Derville is Edrie's love of, her soulmate. So that would be one person threatened that it wouldn't be pretty.
The dumbass in the can gets saved again.
And then it would be Raya, who was one of our second generations, who is her stepdaughter. And these are people that, I mean, not to say all of our characters, that have gone together as a group throughout all these years. Nori would be right up there, but I think she'd be a little bit more in control if it was Nori. Just because I think Nori would smack her upside the head if she wasn't.
Right. It would be a thing like, bitch, why are you tripping? Like, we're fine over here. Right.
The fuck down.
Right.
Tamp it down, bitch.
Right. And so, so I think that's her weakness. That's how you destroy her.
Right. Yeah, that resonates and that checks on all boxes. And I think it was part of the game that we were playing where those stakes were injected into the game in the form of close bonds and people that aren't as powerful as you, because we got to a point, those characters got absolutely outrageous, but not everybody is.
So into stat block weakness is the fact that she's a dual character. So in second edition, that in some ways we played so far and so long it didn't matter quite as much, but in 5th edition that means that her class levels are significantly lower.
Yep.
And so you don't have a 20th level caster, so
and
stat block wise, that's a weakness.
Especially,
for her.
I think that growth path for her was slower than single class characters.
Especially back in the day when we didn't milestone. You had to accumulate experience points, and her growth up was slower.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, last question, then we're going to hit a break. I have so many memories of you two playing characters off of each other. And I don't think that Nori or Edrie would be the same without Nori or Edrie.
Right.
Agreed.
But Tori, my question to you is, for Norian, what makes the best party member? Who does she gel with the most? I know Edrie, but put her in any other group. You got subbed into another party with Nori. How's she reading that room, and who is she feeling okay about?
That's a rough one.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It is.
You're so much about loyalty.
Yeah. Probably, and this sounds bizarre, but if there was a paladin, probably the paladin, because the paladin has known.
Say it, because I'm getting ready.
They would have. You would know what they were for.
Less variables.
There's no variables. They are for this. This is their god. This is
whether
what they're
I agree
doing.
with it or not. I know what to expect from your ass.
Exactly.
Yep.
That is a known quantity. So probably a paladin, in all honesty.
Gives you time to figure out the rest of the group.
Yeah.
Nice. Good answer. Good answer. Friends, I am interviewing Arcadia and Tori here on the Finding Atoria podcast, and we're getting to know their first-gen characters. We're going to take a quick break. That does not give you permission to stop listening. And come right back.
Really quick, y'all.
Here on Finding Atoria.
When you sit down at the table, open the books, and spill out the dice, you're looking for an epic adventure. Tabletop role-playing is more popular than ever, and every day new players join our great hobby. My name is Steve Kellums, and I'm the host of the Epic Adventure Podcast. I'm just a fan with a radio voice, but joining me on this quest will be Mike Howlett, the co-founder of Oddfish Games, a great independent game company, and Christina Stiso, a PhD student studying game-based learning. Together, we will discuss all things tabletop gaming, from character creation to world building to setting and pacing. We will give you tips and tricks to make your games, well, epic. Like and subscribe to the Epic Adventure Podcast today.
This episode of Finding Atoria is brought to you by Wordleaf Media. The Finding Atoria podcast is looking for guests for our upcoming episodes. Are you or someone you know passionate about the TTRPG community and have a story to share? If so, contact us on our socials or reach out at wordleafmedia.com/findingatoria. And now back to your program. Welcome back from the break on Finding Atoria. You are here with Malcolm. I have Arcadia and Tori locked in a room in hot lights.
Let us out.
I've offered them a candy bar, but I'm not going to give it to them. I'm just going to keep asking questions.
Needs to be gummy bears.
We're going to... Oh, you did it now. You did it. Did you see her entire face change? The posture shifted? And now, oh no. Oh, hell's bells.
Yes. We have the gummies.
Because you're working out of a new bag, and that's got to be...
This is one of the little ones.
Well, I meant the new bag of holding.
Well, but there's still the... God,
Wait.
it's in here.
The video for this podcast is compelling as shit. Anyway, I have had the opportunity to interview my co-hosts about their first-generation characters that were second edition D&D made and started our world of Atoria. Mm-hmm. And we have Arcadia with Edrie Graf and Tori with Norian Kemlock. Now, I just said those names, and now I want to get into it. Okay? I avoid this at all costs, and I'm just going to jump in and get into it. Arcadia, I understand now, after we have lored a bit for a few years, that Graf is not a last name.
Graf is not a last name.
It is a title, correct?
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about that.
So this was something that just built up in the lore as we went along. And Edrie is the child of parents that were also adventurers. And her mother was also titled Graf. And that was a title bestowed on her grandmother for acts of heroism in saving the kingdom. Oh. And is passed on to each generation to only that female descendant that is worthy of holding the title. And it is not magical. That is just a decision made by the current holder of the name.
A mantle, so to speak, to pass
the
down.
Chosen one.
Correct.
That's
It is not that fancy.
Pilot, Wabba. No.
It's just within the kingdom, it is recognized as if you are titled with Graf, then there is an understanding of honor. There is an understanding of heroism. There is an understanding of skill and capability.
Okay, so it's something that you don't get as an 18th birthday present. You have to go and earn this in the world, and then wow, it's put on you. It's by someone who is in your family lineage.
Correct.
But the boys can't play the game.
Nope. And it is not as though it's something where it's, something like everybody gets to earn. Like it's one person per generation.
So remind me to ask you the follow-up question, but Tori, Norian Kemlock. Now, I've said that name for your character for 30 plus years.
It is not actually her name.
And it is not actually her name.
But It was,
But it is.
But it actually is. So here's the funny part. It was the whole backstory. We had to get her so she wasn't evil, because
Which
that was
back in
back
2E.
in 2E. All drow were evil except Drist, and then I was just like, "We're doing this. We got to figure out a way to fucking do this."
And that was the thing that I think that we decided was
You told me, find me a way.
right, because we can't just say like this Drist long lost cousin because they know
No,
Drist that
no,
they're not
that's-
evil.
that's-
Like, how did it work? So how did it work?
She was a part of a fighter / scouting party that there was a cave in. She was left behind as thought for dead. She was found by some gnomes who took pity on the fucked up drow.
Gnome pity.
Yeah. And she grew up with she wasn't necessarily, and we tweaked it later on because we didn't like the all drow were evil narrative.
Right.
So she technically wasn't evil to begin with. But the gnomes took care of her, healed her up, and then she basically grew up with Burry, who was my first D&D character ever.
Yes.
Who was my burglar. And they grew up, or they started adventuring together.
Was it an unexpected journey?
Yes. Only with Burry, but that was why. So the gnomes gave her that name. So that was not.
She was adopted.
She was
into
adopted
Clan
into
Kemlock.
Clan Kemlock and the gnomes, and they.
That's so awesome. That's awesome.
So it is her name, but it is not her actual name, which actually
It's not
is
her original name.
It's it's not her. Yeah, it's not her actual name, which is actually a pretty good one because she can swear on her name and be completely truthful.
That's wild. That's wild.
She can and fuck the fae. Like any fae, I'll take your name. Go ahead. I got another
You're
one.
welcome to it.
Good luck.
Pulls out list of passports. Okay, very cool. So I just think it's neat that there's stories behind both of their names. So much so that when we did our 5th ed jump and our jump back in, I went and did something for Draville's last name because it needed to matter more. And yeah, I like that. So keeping us rolling on these characters.
Like he just teases with a little bit of Draville lore and then tries to move on.
I did. It's called a segue.
How about you give some of the background
yeah,
there?
mine was he last name generic as shit, Goldblade. And I think that we worked into back in 30 years ago that he received some sort of shining gilded blade as a gift. And I thought, how much better could that be? So I took him back to his youth in the tavern / brothel where his mother was employed upstairs as the young man who ate too much from the kitchen, grew too large too quickly, and was eventually put in charge of securing the stairwell. If you're going to go up and have time with any of the ladies or gentlemen that were up there doing their honorable trade, he took the gold and he took your blade. There was no knives or steel allowed upstairs, and you had to pay before you passed. And so he just said those 2 words over and over again. And so people would know him as
Goldblade.
there goes Goldblade.
There we go.
Well, that was fun.
That was
totally,
awesome.
Yeah, okay.
It gives a little bit of backstory
There
for
a little
Draville.
bit of for Draville. So I want to do a couple forward-looking questions, and I told you that I would come back with the follow-up to the Graf explanation, and you did such a good job of explaining that it is bestowed down the female line of the family. Who's the next Graf, Edrie?
Edrie and Draville's daughter.
Tell us a little bit more.
Sure as shit ain't right.
Teresa Goldblade. And she is she's there.
She's been chosen because the boys couldn't be.
The boys couldn't be, and the boys have gone off on their own route. So Edrie and Draville have 3 children, the eldest daughter and twin boys. Teresa is a
Raya's doing the redheaded stepchild stare over there.
Raya is definitely one of their children, but I mean, we have always recognized that because she came to us as an adult. That she was.
I came to you as a late teenager.
Okay, late teenager.
Actual shit is how you came to it.
That
You gave me a ship and a dragon, regardless, fucker.
Edrie loves her as her own child, but recognizes that Raya loves her deceased mother very much and would not ever try to take that place or position. So Teresa is a magic user who has been trained by her grandfather, Edrie's father. She is the heir apparent for the next generation.
We'll have to get her into some adventures to earn all of those heroic accolades so that it's passed with honor
Very
down the
much
line.
so.
Very cool.
And I will say in the past couple hundred years of her life, she has taken on quite a bit of responsibility and seems to have matured well into the title.
That whole mantle passing sort of situation, I like it. Norian, what do you do when you've done it all as the preeminent thief, guildmaster, head basher, dragon slayer? Where does one go and when is Nori good?
Nori's
just good.
the head of the three rogues guild together.
And I can't.
There isn't a retirement plan.
It's just
is
wait
the
to get
problem.
assassinated.
It is it is you try and find the best lieutenants you can,
Okay.
and hopefully they'll work in tandem, basically, because I don't think there's anybody who's going to be able to do it all themselves.
No.
And
Well, I hope you have at least one really good.
yeah, Tim's dead.
Tim is dead.
Tim's very dead.
And that was a decision made.
Oh yeah, that was
Tim was the lieutenant.
Yes.
I mispronounced that, but like he was the loyal. Like he was gonna be
Oh nope. And
like the dude that you hand the keys off to in the final scene.
and nope.
He's dead as hell.
Tim ain't got no head
Yeah.
because Nori has no
head.
forgiveness.
No.
And it was a loyalty thing. And
Decision made on the spot. Yeah.
Once again,
it's getting that. I'm going to use
and none of my kids are going to pick up the mantle.
no.
That was
No,
a
but you
fucked
got
up.
one of mine.
But he's got to. I trust him though.
Right?
I would, because he knows I could still kick his ass.
Yeah. I mean, he's been under your tutelage since.
Well, since he tried sneaking up on me, and I'm like, we got to do something about this. If you can sneak up on me, let's teach you how to do this better.
Right. Very, very cool. So I've never been able to picture Nori like behind that table, just feet up, just like I've got what I need. You're constantly working, constantly machinating. Very, very cool. I wanted to share a little bit quickly, and then we'll do a couple final questions. What I learned when I learned how to GM was watching you two, and we had D there as well, and there was people in and out at different times. But those early days, especially then, you guys knew more about the game, you knew more about role playing, and then as you two decided to combine your powers for awesome at every opportunity.
Are we sure that was for awesome? I think there might have been another word there.
I
Sorry.
could not have a better guide to just learning how to GM and just responding to the ideas and the solutions and the consequences that came out of your actions just made me learn what I needed to do from that seat better. And it was some of the greatest just role play, watching you two and knowing that whole background and how those characters came together was being exacted at the table. So that was really fun for me. That was really awesome. So I guess if there's a final question that I could put in at this point in time with the second generation, with the other characters that have come through, the Seed Rock characters, what's left that you want to do as a player with those characters? Because we talk often about retirement, and sometimes we do and sometimes we come out of it. what is there left as far as role play that you would like to see with those characters, or do you feel like it's time to put them into lore and develop new through play?
If I look at it from solely like at their highest level and where to move forward from there, to me, I want them to settle everything into the next generation. I want it that, the characters that have been created that are our next generation are prepared and ready to take everything over, and they can step back
Full mantle pass,
and feel confident in stepping back.
Okay.
Nori's been awake the whole time. Everybody's been asleep.
Right.
Well, I want to take a shit ton of revenge first, but
Right. No. I'm not saying that. But Nori's been awake.
You're a lot older.
Right.
I'm a lot older, and I've watched it change. Mm-hmm. So at this point, and let's be honest, and I know what's in her head. Mm-hmm. If there is a way to blaze a glory it, she's gonna do it because she's tired.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She's
ready
tired,
for that last
and if she
one.
can take somebody out with her, she's gonna do it.
Yep.
She's tired. The kids are there. If you guys are there, if you guys are awake, she's done.
Yep, because that was part of the curse of Nori's arc, in that was that while everybody else was in stasis, you were awake on the ship.
I was awake.
Watching everything that had been built just taken away, torn apart, legacies destroyed with no hope, plus no hope.
Yeah. Nori's done. Nori's tired. In all honesty, she will go out in final battle. I don't know how, but she's going to find a way.
I have a couple ideas.
I had a feeling you probably knew. We know about Nori. Nori's been awake. Nori's not happy. Nori is tired.
And the big thing for me there had to be this whole loss, it had to matter. Even after we came back, it had to matter what happened. And yeah, that's an interesting take, that she just might want to...
She has known where the kids were. She hasn't been able to talk to the kids.
She's just gone mad.
She has nobody. She can't talk to Ash. Mm-hmm. She can't talk to Wraith. She can't talk to
How about watching what happened to Raya?
that was a nasty. That's another tick of...
Oh, so many things that we are alluding to.
Yes. All this and more on our lovely Patreon.
Nori's tired.
Yep.
Nori's tired, and Nori will go out in the best way for her family that she can, but I don't see...
Yeah, she's not getting back to...
I don't think she's going to make it through the last battle, in all honesty.
Well, we will keep listeners tuned in on that, and where that goes, because we have many games to play, many characters to develop, but I think that we owe a little time to resolution for Atoria, first generation of heroes, the heroes of the Crossroads. Thank you guys so much for kind of peeling back and being open with the characters in the process. Any other points, any other questions, things that you'd like to say about your characters, about their place in the world, about how, to me, it's just cool. 30 years of having that personality, that character there is pretty neat, I think.
I think one of the neatest things about this game is how much you can put into it and get out of it the more you put into it. And you talked about how we played at the table and how Nori and Edrie interacted, and then all of their story. That wasn't what happened necessarily rolling dice at the table. This was the background. This was the backstory that influenced and shaped who they were when they were rolling dice at the table.
Right.
And so I guess I just would say, this is the idea of finding Atoria that we invite everybody to do, is that, build your world, put heart and soul into your characters, not just for what they're doing in the middle of the game, but, flesh them out, make them as real as possible. And then what you are able to take out of your gameplay, both in the relationships that you develop with the people you're gaming with, as well as the catharsis from sitting at the table and playing, is so enhanced.
You get a much deeper return on that investment. I completely agree with you. What do you think, Tori? Final thoughts on Nori or the table?
Well,
or the world?
I can say that Nori honestly was born out of rage and pain.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yep.
Like those were the two things that were fueling that me at that point. Like that was at my most broken. Well, I mean, close enough. But to watch her become not just rage and pain, and to help heal me in the middle of that was pretty fucking phenomenal, because that gave me a place to put some of that angst, for a better word, that wouldn't hurt anybody. And it also...
Go ahead.
Like, got all of us closer.
It did so many things at that time, and I always have an image in my mind from your mom's table, which is what your face does when it's your turn and you know what you're going to do with Nori. There is the way you pick up dice is different. I shit you not.
You said something about my shoulders change, and then I'll
You take on Nori.
You take on Nori. And when it was time to deal with that rage and pain, you knew it was time. Like, you got to go and you got to do. And it was just very cool to witness that evolution of all of us, along with those characters, and leveling up at the table.
Yep.
All right,
awesome.
guys. I'm not going to do a super long sign off. Thank you both again so much. We love interacting with you. Talk to us about your day one characters, your Gen 1 roll ups, and what they mean to you, and how that's worked for you. Please interact with us on social media. You can leave a comment on our Wordleaf Media YouTube page. And as always, we appreciate you supporting the show by clicking on the button at www.wordleafmedia.com/Finding Atoria and going to our Patreon and subscribing.
Good stuff behind the scenes.
All right, guys, we will talk to you next week. Thank you both again so much for the fun. Tell them bye.
Bye.
Bye. This episode of Finding Atoria is brought to you by Wordleaf Media. Find us at wordleafmedia.com/Finding Atoria if you or anyone you know has stories or other good things to say about TTRPGs. Get a hold of us. You can find us on all the social medias.
This episode of Finding Atoria is brought to you by Wordleaf Media. Are you interested in sharing stories of your favorite TTRPG experiences? If so, reach out at www.wordleafmedia.com/contact us on our socials, or you can now leave a comment on your favorite Finding Atoria episode at our Wordleaf Media YouTube channel.